Hey, everybody, and welcome back to For the Booze.
For the Booze, and we are
That's
back
right.
with another week.
Hey,
You like my hat?
I do like your hat.
I'm wearing the hat because of what we're going to be talking about today. I'm not going to keep it on though. I need to flip the headphones around. But we have a very interesting story this week.
Oh.
I kind of just came across it. I actually didn't think we knew what it was until I looked into it. Turns out we do know what it is.
Oh.
It's something. Well, at least it's something that we've seen.
Okay.
And it's not too far from here because we're gonna travel to the Old West.
Yes.
We're literally going to talk about an old ghost town that revolves around the Vulture Gold Mine. So this is Vulture City Ghost Town and Gold Mine. The way the show is going to go basically is the history is going to almost exclusively revolve around the gold mine.
Okay.
Because without the gold mine,
there would be
no town.
Nothing, right?
But as we get into the later portion of the show, there's going to be more of an emphasis on the town because that is where the majority of today's paranormal stuff takes place.
Okay.
There's
Makes sense.
there's brothels, there's bars, there's a bank, I think, but there's just a lot of stuff that seems to happen in this place that has been long forgotten.
Wow. I'm excited.
This is unfortunately though, this is another place that has a tie to the greatest paranormal investigator of all time, Zak Bagans.
Hey.
But anyways, let's get into I'm gonna change my hat though.
Okay.
Gotta change the hat. Hold on. I had to change the hat real quick. But let's get into this one. This is honestly a very interesting story about how a town came to be.
Okay.
Now, the Wickenburg area, along with much of the Southwest, became part of the United States by the 1848 treaty that ended the Mexican-American War. The first extensive survey was conducted by Gila Rangers, I'm not sure, who were pursuing natives who had raided the Butterfield Overland Mail Route and attacked miners at Gila City. Before motorized transportation made its way to Arizona, Wickenburg was a transportation hub for goods moving between Phoenix, Flagstaff, and California. I'm going to do my best to pronounce this.
I see it. Good luck.
The Hassayampa River played an important role in the transportation route. Today, The portion of the river located in Wickenburg has been turned into a nature conservancy to preserve its historical importance.
Wow, that's really cool.
This is a very interesting river.
Okay.
For a sizable portion of this river flows underground,
No way.
and it opens up into an area at a preserve.
That's super cool. That's
So
really neat.
the town looks like it doesn't have water, but it does.
Wow.
It's very weird.
That's interesting. Wow. I wonder how that like just developed like naturally. Like how does that happen? That's
have-
crazy.
Long before man came around.
Very true.
In the late 1800s, Wickenburg was a boomtown reveling in silver, copper, and gold. Now, its residents, perhaps in excess enthusiasm, exaggerated the potential of wealth in the area to the point that it became common in the West to call any teller of tall tales a Hassayamper in honor of the river that flows through the area. So if I was like, yo, you're a Hassayamper, that means that's a long way.
Yeah, that
I could just say you're a liar.
so much easier.
It is, man, that is
so much easier.
such a long way around.
I know.
The name Hassayampa comes from the Yavapai native word Hayasamo, meaning following the water as far as it goes. Now, the Apache referred to it as the, quote, upside down river because it flows underground most of the way. It comes above ground amid the towering cottonwoods at the Hassayampa River Preserve, as well as other places throughout town. So it kind of dips in and out.
Yeah.
There are still relics around the area that stand as a tribute to these early adventures, as well as a walking tour around Vulture City, which is adjacent to the present-day Vulture Mine. Ranchers and farmers discovered the fertile floodplain of the Hassayampa River and settled in the area. Together with Henry Wickenburg and the miners, they helped found the young community of Wickenburg in 1863, and the town of Wickenburg was incorporated in 1909.
Wow.
Now, it was a rough start for the town, who was at war with the Native Americans. They also experienced many mine closures, desperados, droughts, and a disastrous flood in 1890 when the Walnut Creek Dam burst.
That's dangerous.
A lot of bad
Wow.
stuff happened here. Now, despite these trials and tribulations, the town continued to grow. And in 1895, the railroad arrived in Wickenburg. The historic depot still stands today as the Wickenburg Chamber of Commerce building.
Wow.
It's still there.
Wow.
This town looks like a ghost town. I mean,
That's
it just
super cool, actually, because like things that were built way, way, way back then, most of that stuff has been redone, removed, or whatever. But like to actually have it being used, and for like the Chamber of Commerce too, that's I don't know.
this
I
town.
think that's very interesting.
You got to think of this almost like a theme park at this point. It's not like there's not rides or anything like that. But what I mean is, it's more of a tourist destination with old buildings, but these buildings are preserved in a way that some of them still have, like, we'll call them appliances of the time in there. So you'll have like these old rusted like cast iron stoves and stuff like that.
Right.
It's honestly mind blowing. I would love to see something like this because this is what I'm always looking for when we go, looking for ghost towns.
Yeah.
But we can't ever find them in this kind of condition.
We can't. We can barely find them with a building or two together.
There is one house though.
Yet.
Near us.
We're still looking.
Yeah. Wickenburg is the oldest town north of Tucson and the 5th oldest in the state. In its heyday, Wickenburg was the 3rd largest town in Arizona. In 1866, it missed becoming the territorial capital by only 2 votes. Located at the corner of US 60 or Wickenburg Way and Tegner Street, sits a 200-year-old mesquite tree that served as the town jail from 1863 to 1890. Outlaws would be chained to the tree to prevent their escape.
Wow. That's
crazy.
That's not cool.
Now, the Vulture Mine near Wickenburg, Arizona, could be the focal point in modern shows like one of our favorites, Yellowstone.
We love that show.
That's why I wore the hat.
Yay.
Now, stories of ghosts, men, and animals lost in the, quote, glory hole, Native American attacks, bullion robberies, gold fortunes, lost veins, and personalities as grand and sweeping as the desert winds are part of Arizona history. After President Polk formally announced that the rumors of rich gold strikes in California were real, a grand exodus from the East Coast and Europe began, with the destination being California's gold fields. Henry Wickenburg, a Prussian by birth, that's Germany. I don't know if you knew that.
I did.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
Is first noted in some of the mother lode gold towns around 1852. Probably too late to get in on the easy early placer locations. So he arrived during the later part of the gold rush.
Okay.
And
So kind of rode the coattails there at the end?
He did, but unfortunately that meant that a lot of the easier access gold for mining had already been taken.
Right. So it's a lot harder to
a
find.
lot harder, yeah.
Like it is now when people go gold mining.
Yeah, I mean, you can't gold mine now unless you've got serious money to begin with.
Yeah, or you know exactly where you need to go and where it was like super concentrated. And most of the people back then that did gold mining, they didn't share that.
Well, a big problem too now is that a lot of the places that you would think would be places to go because they were places to go back then
are not now.
They're tapped out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's nothing left. There was no Phoenix, no Flagstaff, or Prescott. And most of the population was Mexican, and most were in Tucson. Now, native tribes abounded with the notorious Apaches, creating the most fear in pioneers. There was a fierce battle between pioneers and Apaches.
Wow.
Now, roads were basically non-existent. As the easiest of gold gathering in California began to play out, miners gradually moved towards Southern California, then through Yuma and up the Colorado or into Arizona, still in search of gold. These people, I cannot express how hard of a voyage these people had to try to find something.
Oh, I am sure.
It
like awful.
It would be like if there was nothing here where we are right now, and people trying to just go up and down all these mountains on foot and wagon.
There's no way. There's absolutely no way.
Only they're in Arizona desert.
Like we are already 4,500 feet up, and the mountains around us are a good, I don't know what.
Well, probably, I think the one over here is 8,000.
8,000. Yeah. So there's no way. There's absolutely no way. And I mean, in this town specifically, you saying that, like, we're almost completely surrounded.
We are. And then once you get out of here, there's desert.
Yeah.
All around us.
Yeah.
So.
That would be rough.
It's
so rough.
It was a hard life. Henry Wickenburg was to sign on with an expedition founded by A.H. Peoples and led by an old Southwest scout, Paulina Weaver. Paulina is a man, by the way.
Oh.
I don't know if it's supposed to be Paulina. It looks like Paulina to me.
It definitely looks like Paulina, but I mean, whatever.
Well, it was like Pleasant.
Pleasant.
Was in our story last week, and that was a man. I didn't know that.
Interesting.
Now, the group of about 30 crossed the Colorado River into Arizona territory in the spring of 1863 and headed east, prospecting as they went. At what is known as Rick Hill in central Arizona, they found nuggets, flakes, and pieces of gold that could be dug out with spoons, knives, and then picked up with their hands. But the surface gold was soon depleted, and while some remained to dry wash, others moved on to Prescott in the Walker Mining District. So they would mine it to completion.
Mm-hmm.
Henry Wickenburg and two companions, Isaac Van Biber and Theodore Green, also known as Rusk, took advice from an early pioneer, King Woolsey, who was in the area. Woolsey suggested they travel to the Harquahala Mountains, where a decent gold strike had been made. So somebody kind of gave them a lead to the Harquahala. I think I'm saying that
I think
right.
You are too.
And then they just said, no, everybody was going somewhere else, so they went there.
Right.
The three reached the Harquahalas, but came up empty.
Aww.
Now, on their return trip, they noticed a conspicuous quartz outcropping, but continued back to camp along the Hassayampa River near present-day Wickenburg. In November of 1863, the three put up a location notice, but failed to do much more. And Wickenburg remained camped along the river, while Green, having samples of the gold quartz, left for Tucson, and Van Biber set off for California to obtain financing and supplies, and that's also where he lived, so he went there.
Okay.
In May of 1864, Henry Wickenburg and 4 different men went back to the claim and officially filed on it, and at the same time organized the Vulture Mining District, with Wickenburg as president and James A. Moore, a businessman, as recording secretary. First work on the Vulture was by pick and shovel and basically amounted to quarrying the exposed gold quartz.
That sounds awful.
It sounds hard.
It sounds like such hard work. Oh my God.
It sounds hard. I wouldn't want to do that.
No, like we do just a tiny bit of like picking and chipping and chiseling when we go rock hunting.
It's terrible.
And it's really hard. I could only imagine, like,
it took me 30 minutes to chip off a piece this big.
I know.
And it about killed me.
Oh, man.
Now, early estimates from unofficial records indicate 20 troy ounce per ton gold. I had to look this up, but I think that's roughly 1 pound of gold per ton.
What?
Yeah, I had to do a conversion thing.
But
it's not exact, but it's about for every ton that they broke up, they would get about a pound of gold.
Okay, well, a pound of gold.
It's a lot.
Is so much. Well, my God.
Just wait.
Oh, okay.
Now, later in litigation filed under Murray versus Wickenburg and Associates, Murray and Roberts had bought from Green what they felt was his 1/3 share. Henry Wickenburg claimed that the Vulture was yielding $700 a day in
Back
the
then.
1800s.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Okay, gold prices in the 1860s ranged from $20 to $47 an ounce. Yeah. Yeah.
I know you podcasting can't see, or listening on podcast can't see my face, but my mouth was just wide open.
Everybody else will get to see it because I'll probably zoom in on it.
$20 to $47 an ounce.
And they're pulling
a pounds per ton.
Yes.
Holy crap.
Now, the claim was heard by Judge Joseph Allen, who found in favor of the Wickenburg group. Now, Ewing Van Biber was later paid $10,000 to quit claim by subsequent new owners. So he took $10,000. Wait till we get to the end and I tell you how much was pulled out of this mine.
Oh my. Okay, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready.
It's an astronomical amount for especially the time.
Wow.
Despite the prosperous find, problems did arise. Distance from water for mining and milling, lack of knowledge of even simple arrastra. Arrastras are machinery that crush rock.
Okay.
And mercury recovery, transportation shortcomings, natives, lack of gold labor, theft, and lack of mining and milling know-how plagued the mine from the very beginning.
I'm sure because they just kind of plopped down there and were like, okay, let's try.
They didn't really know what they were doing.
Right.
So these were they were green. They were very green going into this, and it showed. However, it just may pay off.
Did they go from green to gold?
It's quite possible. Good one. I like that.
Oh, thanks.
Might name the video that. Now, Wickenburg began selling ore for $15 a ton plus a royalty for anyone willing to do the labor. Once word was out in the area, it was trampled by prospectors looking for another Vulture. Claims like the Dinosaur, Turkey Buzzard, Apache, Harriet's Wall, and the Whopper were all recorded within 6 months, but none ever proved productive.
Oh.
So other people tried to come in and capitalize on this, but it seems like the Vulture was a standalone. It's like it shouldn't have been there, but it was there. So they really got lucky when they came across this.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we said earlier, like they just kind of stumbled.
They did.
On this.
No, they definitely stumbled because I don't
100% capitalized.
They weren't trying to stop here.
Mm-hmm.
They just happened to notice a quartz vein and dug into it and found gold.
Yeah. Wow.
Within 2 years of discovery, Henry Wickenburg and the other claimants sold most of their original footage in the Vulture Mining Company. In the 1880s, it was decided to build a 15-mile, 6-inch pipeline from the Hassayampa River to the mine site. So Henry sold.
Mm-hmm.
After he had already pulled out about $30 million worth.
That is so much money back
There
then.
was so much to the story that I
Oh
took that
my
out, but
God.
I kept it in here for you guys.
Good job,
He
babe.
ended up making about 30 million, which is just a fraction of what would eventually come out of this.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's
Now,
insane.
once water was available, a small town by the name of Vulture City grew and developed. In 1890, the disastrous Walnut Grove Dam collapsed, flooded the river, and destroyed much of the pipeline, and it was never repaired. Now, electricity came to the Vulture in the early 1900s, but until 1913, when their first truck was purchased, horses and wagons for both mine and personal transport were used. We think it's hard, but no matter how hard you try, you think of it in terms of modern.
Right. I mean, yeah.
Imagine doing all this with horse and wagon.
I don't want to. I don't even want to imagine it.
It's backbreaking.
It's such a hard life.
Miners and a few families began to settle at Vulture City, and a schoolhouse with 2 school marms opened and operated from 1908 to 1915. Mexican miners made up the bulk of the workforce and were forced to receive lower pay than whites doing the same work, and their housing was segregated. The town of Wickenburg also had strict rules regarding Black workers, Mexican workers, Jewish workers, and basically any other nationalities.
Rude.
It's not uncommon at the time.
I mean, I know, but rude.
It's still not uncommon at the time. It was like that basically everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Vulture mine often went through long periods of shutdowns, startups, leases, and exploration activities. Faulting, mismanagement, low gold price, and high overhead accounted for much of the downtime. And at least twice, the property was sold for back taxes at sheriff's auctions. Now, while some underground mining continued, the veins of profitable gold thinned, and the lode was lost for the final time in 1916. Numerous attempts to find extensions were unproductive. The last try was carried out in 1931 by rawhide Jimmy Douglas. After much conjecture and drilling, Douglas put down a 500-foot shaft that was to intersect the faulted lost lode, but it was a waste of money. He found nothing.
Wow.
So you think it was only maybe 40 years of mining from this mine?
Yeah.
And then it was just gone.
I mean, 40 years is a long time, but
not when you think about it in terms like these, right? Because there's mining companies around today, and they'll just keep mining and finding what they're looking for. I don't know how they do it, but I'm sure there's some, I don't know. There's got to be some way they do it. Radars, I don't know. I'm stupid. But
no, you're not.
Back then they didn't have all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So they're basically just dig a hole there and see if there's anything down there.
Right. Can you dig any further?
So if you lose a vein, like, you're screwed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're just kind of
it's lost.
Looking in the dark, basically, if you lose that.
I mean, literally.
Yeah.
Because you're in a hole.
In a hole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shortly before World War II, Ernest Dickey and John C. Lincoln held the Vulture. Now, it stated that the Vulture closed in 1942, never to reopen again, but that's incorrect.
Oh.
The Vulture had obtained an exemption to mine during the war years, and state mining records indicate that as late as 1944, the Vulture was producing lead, minor copper, and gold. One article I found had that information. I dig. I'm telling you.
I know you do.
Now, from 1945 until 1959, the mine was idle or in limited production. At the height of the Soviet nuclear threat, civil defense authorities considered using the mine to store emergency supplies in case of an attack.
Wow. So I wasn't going to say anything, but I wanted to. Sorry. Go ahead.
It's just, it's weird. What are they going to do? Shove stuff in? Just shove it into the ground?
That's all they have is holes. I mean,
but these aren't they're not just holes. Like, these are tunnels.
It's crazy.
Think about mines that you've seen on shows and stuff. Like, these things, they go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, during the early 1960s, Dr. George Mangun. What a cool name.
George
Mangun. I'm George Mangun, and I run this town. feel like I should have kept my hat on for that.
Uh,
So Mangun bought the property with the idea of building a desert science center devoted to research, but there's no record of any activity. L. Wayne Beale owned the property from 1970 until 2011 when it was bought by the current owner, Vulture Peak Gold LLC. Now, currently, the Vulture property is divided between a group still attempting to extract some gold values and Vulture City Ghost Town, which is an interesting tourist venue with exhibits and many buildings replicating the time that once was.
wow.
Now, for this show, I felt the need to find out how much money was pulled from this mine, and I'm sure you're wondering.
I 100% am wondering.
In the 1800s money, $200 million worth of gold was pulled from this mine.
What?
200 million.
I'm
not sure what that breaks down to if we convert that to modern day. I'm sure that every person who ever picked up a pickaxe at that place was set for life.
100%. Oh my God. That is not what I was thinking.
That amount of money is insane.
That's so much money. Oh my God.
So
what a story.
We still have a lot of ghost stories to get to.
Mm-hmm.
And there's quite a few here. Because if you know what this place is, you know. While Arizona conjures images of dusty landscapes speckled with prickly, statuesque cactus, which was actually a different word, but I didn't know how to pronounce it, so I changed it to cactus. But they're the big ones with the arms.
Okay.
Rolling tumbleweeds and blazing sun. And though the state is technically still quite young, founded just over a century ago, passers through still associate it with the gunslinging showdowns and the gold rush days of the Wild West.
I'm sure.
That's what I think of.
I feel like if anything was ever like the Wild West, that it just kind of stays that, you know? I feel like
as cool as that would be, yeah.
I feel like it should, for sure. And do the big armed cactuses have another name?
Yeah, no, they have like an actual name. I can't. They're like Saraquata or something like that.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're desert cactus. I couldn't pronounce it. All right. It happens every once in a while.
The ones that look like this?
I married her. Yeah.
You did.
Now, it's one reason why famous ghost towns like Tombstone and Goldfield bring in such huge crowds day after day. But what many tourists don't realize is that Arizona's most profitable mining town, Vulture City, isn't too far from either of them, and it arguably offers a more authentic glimpse into what these gold rush towns what they actually looked like. Vulture Gold Mine is credited with founding the nearby town of Wickenburg, and the agricultural area that sprouted to serve the mines also helped spur growth in Phoenix. Miners flocked to the area, obviously in hopes of getting rich. In the spirit of the Old West, the Vulture was obviously a rough place.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's a mining town in the desert.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Miners often died in cave-ins, while dozens were allegedly hung from the infamous hanging tree when they were caught stealing gold. And I believe that's the same tree that they were like chained to.
Chained to? Oh my.
So you would be chained to it while bodies hung.
Oh God. No. No.
This is brutal, man.
Ooh. No thanks.
We shouldn't do it again, but it's kind of cool.
Stop.
It's kind of cool.
Stop it.
I watch shows like this.
I know, me too, but
there were many gruesome tales of rapes, murders, and freak accidents in the mines and surrounding towns, which left a haunted legacy in the now abandoned ghost town. These are the things that I just assumed went down there.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, right?
Like you hear a Wild West town in the middle of the desert in like the 1800s.
You're a girl, right?
Yeah,
let me ask you.
I hope so.
What would you think if like we lived back then and I was like, we're gonna go to Vulture City?
No thanks. I'll stay home.
Like they had to have known, at least at the time, like this was going to be a rough place.
So bad. Are you kidding me?
Not the place you want to bring your wife and kids.
No.
The day-to-day grind inside the mines was tough. It was dark, dusty, and dangerous. Now, there were plenty of fights, and the feuds allowed the miners back into town. Once the mines closed, the miners went back to Vulture City to ease up for the next day. And when the saloons and brothels filled up, you'd get the exact kind of rowdiness the Wild West is known for.
Yep.
Now,
Wild West town back in the 1800s. I would expect nothing less.
Yeah. It's living up to the Wild West.
Yeah, for sure.
Which makes me wonder how come it's not a more well known of the gunslinging towns.
Right.
Because you know outlaws went through here.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Now, thieves also ran amok in the mines. High grading was common. Some estimates say that up to half the ore mined from Vulture was stolen by high graders. What high grading is where you're only turning in high grade gold after you've been in the mines and you're pocketing the rest. So you're taking that gold and selling it yourself, and you're making probably more than you're making for the work you're doing.
Right.
Though everybody stole from the mine, stealing was punishable by death. The town never had an official lawman, so punishment was dished out vigilante style. The hanging tree was just outside of Henry Wickenburg's old home and was used to hang the high graders who were caught. The assay building was where the gold was inspected and appraised. It's also where they stored the gold. The building was the scene of quite a few shootouts as rogue miners attempted to rob the precious gold bullion under the building.
Yeah,
they were digging under the building.
What?
They were trying to tunnel in.
Wow. I mean, would you expect anything less?
No. I mean, it's an old West town. I just feel like these are the things that they should have known were going to happen.
Right. Just expect it.
Yeah. Now, it was successfully robbed twice. On one occasion, 3 bandits stormed the assay building, killed the guard, and took off into the desert. When the guards from the mine caught up, they found out nothing was stolen, much to the surprise of both bandits and the guards. So they got away with nothing.
What? Did they get caught?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The guards caught up.
Didn't steal anything.
But they did kill a guard.
I mean, yeah, but
I think the way it worked is like raw gold. It doesn't look like your normal, like what normal people would think. Like
you think
gold.
A little nugget of gold would be.
Yeah,
right.
A lot of it will look like rocks.
Yeah.
So they're probably just in there filling their pockets. And I think what they did was they made away with stones.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Yeah, because
all that for nothing.
It does suck because they were killed on the spot. And after the guards carried them into town, the locals protested the burials of criminals in the city. So they were taken back out to the desert and buried.
Oh.
Now, one of the most known ghosts is the spirit of Jimmy Davis. Jimmy was said to be a hardworking man, well known amongst his colleagues for getting the job done and doing it right. One day, while Jimmy was working the mines, the pulley system malfunctioned. Now, Jimmy got up on a ladder to fix the belt when his arm got stuck in the loop of the pulley. Now, the belt tightened when he tried to get out, and Jimmy was launched several feet in the air with his arm still stuck in the loop.
Oh, wow.
His body smashed into multiple pieces of heavy machinery, breaking literally every bone in the man's body, before dumping his body hundreds of feet down into the central mine shaft. The worst part was that Jimmy wasn't killed right away. It took 5 hours for Jimmy to die. They say he cried and begged for mercy, but it was no use. His body was destroyed beyond belief. There was
that poor man.
There was no saving Jimmy.
That poor man. Somebody could have like shot him or something. I mean, I know he fell really far, but like shoot and try at least.
You don't know, like you don't really know.
God. That's terrifying.
It's easy now for us to read a story and be like, well, they could have shot him.
Nah, I know.
But in reality, they're looking at him like, well, what if he makes it? What if it's not as bad as it looks?
I'm sure it looked pretty bad.
Yeah, probably does.
I'm just saying.
Probably look at ground hamburger meat.
Oh my God. Ew.
Legend says Jimmy's ghost still lives in the mine shafts. I
bet it does.
Don't doubt it. His blood-curdling screams can still be heard echoing through the mine, though some have heard cries for help in other parts of Vulture City grounds.
Yep, I bet they still hear that. And I bet he is still there. 100%. That is such a traumatic death. That is so bad.
It's pretty bad.
Oh,
It's pretty
my
bad.
God.
Others claim to hear the pulley machine whipping around as if it were malfunctioning. It's like the machine has to mock him in the afterlife, too.
Oh.
Paranormal investigators claim to have discovered Jimmy's spirit hanging around the mine's powerhouse, and there are reports his ghost has been seen at the entrance to the mine on multiple occasions. Now, the ghosts of the high graders who were punished by death are still allegedly seen around the mines, too. The hanging tree is said to have been the burial site of dozens of men who were condemned after being caught red-handed. 18 men were hung from the hanging tree, but it's not known if they were all buried there. Either way, many tourists claim to have been harassed by the ghost of the dead thieves. Now, tourists claims to have had rocks thrown at them while near the hanging tree. They also hear footsteps scurrying around them in the area, and some have heard strange voices call them by name. Which, now that I think about it, it's kind of weird. How do they know your name?
Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of weird. Ugh.
Doesn't seem right. It's not sitting right with me. Local legends say a group of thieves killed in a freak accident also haunt Vulture City, a particularly prosperous area near the head of the mine called, yes, go ahead and get ready to giggle, it's called the Glory Hole.
I saw it and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to laugh. And then you read it.
You know,
and
they say men aren't very mature.
It's called a glory hole.
It was the site of much high grading once the majority of the ore was dug out. The miners would come around sunset and dig out the remaining ore near the support beam. And after a while, there was no rock to support the beams, and your favorite glory hole collapsed, trapping and killing 7 men and 12 donkeys.
Those poor donkeys. Oh man.
I just want to try something. Glory hole. She's a child. Now, the bodies are believed to still be trapped in there today, and their ghosts haunt the former glory hole. I wish I wouldn't have written glory hole so many times now.
So many.
The apparitions have been seen around the head of the mine, and witnesses report unusual cold spots and feelings of being watched. How do we know it's not Jimmy?
This is true. This is true.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I would like to know how they are determining, who's who.
Who? Right.
Now, the Vulture's Roost is known for its elusive inhabitants and mysterious apparitions, accompanied by the eerie phenomena of phantom phone rings and haunting piano melodies. That's the saloon. There's a haunted doll, Dolly. She's a porcelain doll, said to be under the ownership of the child spirit named Izzy. Now, Dolly, I hate dolls, by the way.
Yeah, me too. But I'm pretty sure I remember the doll
you do.
From the Ghost Adventures episode.
Dolls for me are clowns for you. I hate dolls.
I hate clowns.
Now, Dolly is notorious for her uncanny movements, musical interludes, and temperature spikes of up to 15 degrees, and a consistent high level of energy metering. Libby, a larger doll with a decade-long residency in the brothel, is inhabited by an adult female spirit. Libby allegedly displays energy surges, movement, and communicates through investigative equipment. I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm assuming EVPs, EMF, anything.
Right. Any kind of trackable equipment, I guess, is what she's setting off, kind of thing.
Yeah. Now, there are also baby shoes, once housed in the doctor's office, that emit remarkably high EMF readings, with captured photos showcasing streaks of energy and the formation of energy clouds around them. Could be dust during the desert. I'm just saying, when it comes to stuff like that, I am I'm very weary of calling it paranormal.
Like you mean like the clouds and
Yeah,
stuff like that?
the
Yeah.
the light streaks, because cameras do weird things.
Yeah. Agreed. And so does the weather
Well, and you're in the desert, so
and your
like
surroundings.
honestly, like I wasn't joking when I said that. Like they're talking energy clouds. I mean, they could literally be dust clouds.
Yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
are in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the blacksmith shop is believed to be overseen by an enigmatic presence, and anyone lingering beyond the acceptable duration may be subjected to a loud banging. Incidents of thunderous banging have been reported for those who decided to hang out too long. And it's believed that this is an intelligent spirit.
Wow.
So don't hang out, he'll bang, I guess.
I mean, not that creepy, but
Weird.
still.
More weird.
Yeah.
The Wells Fargo post office has gained an eerie reputation due to the window facing the mine shaft. Numerous accounts, sightings, and captured photos depict a ghostly apparition outside the structure. People visiting claim to have seen a spirit at the mine's opening. But again, so many have been said to be seen there. And how do we know who they are?
Right. I mean, so many people were either killed by like being a criminal or whatever. And then there's like the cowboy shootouts in the
Maybe,
street.
maybe they just spent too long in the glory hole.
Probably.
I'll be here all week.
Probably.
Now, the brothel hosts a community of playfully flirtatious spectral women engaging in activities such as object manipulation, levitation, and door slamming. They exhibit a penchant for the sound of music and laughter, creating an atmosphere of ethereal revelry. Even Demi Lovato claims to have had an experience here.
That is so random.
It was in the picture.
Okay.
What do you want me to do?
All right, Demi.
And look, I even wrote, and of course, everyone's favorite investigators, Ghost Adventures, have been here. But what do everyday people have to say about this seemingly haunted location? Do you want to read some reviews that I found?
I would love to.
Well, here, I'm going to pass this to you. It's not a glory hole, it's just a mouse. And read us, because some of these stories are, they're all interesting, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But some of them, just read them. You'll like them.
Okay. So on tripadvisor.com, Backs the Pack in July 2015 wrote, "We arrived at 8 a.m., opening time. We were the only ones visiting at this time. When we arrived, we were greeted by a very friendly, nice man. He gave us some history, answered some questions, and sent us on our adventure. When we arrived, my camera died. Brand new batteries. I went through 6 batteries before I gave up for a while. He said this happens often, and that some say that ghosts drain batteries to get energy. Obviously. Once we left the main building at the front, my camera suddenly started working again. This went on and off around certain buildings. It was very weird. Several times I had heard voices, though I could not quite understand what was being said. There were 5 of us total, and we were all together, so I know I wasn't hearing them. No one else had these experiences, but no one else in our group really believes in this sort of thing either. The buildings are great, left as though people just walked away from them one day and left lots of belongings. Chair frames, bed frames, bottles, etc., just left behind through the decades. Some buildings you cannot walk through as they are really falling down and would be dangerous, but there are plenty that you are allowed to walk through. If you go during the hot months, be sure to bring plenty of water and hit the place early in the morning. I would say a fall visit would be much nicer. Also, wear good shoes. Lots of walking and soft sand in the area. The cost is $10 per person, and they only accept cash, no credit card or debits."
This, when I hear that, it just looks like everybody up and left. It reminds me of the pictures I saw of Taunton State Hospital underground.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why everything reminds me of that place. Maybe it's just because I used to live across the street from it. But,
yeah, probably.
But that's what it reminds me of. And if you can, we apologize if you can hear in the background, video and podcast, it's raining outside.
It is.
We do our best. But yeah, that's what it reminds me of. And I saw pictures of this place, and they're not lying. Like, these houses look like somebody could have lived in them yesterday.
And they just like vanished.
Yeah, I mean, everything's rusted and dusty, and
I'm sure.
Houses are, but it just, like, people just up and left. They just disappeared.
That's crazy.
It's just so cool, though.
It is super cool. It is super cool.
You know how much I love this stuff.
I know you do.
Okay. What about, there's another one. And I want to make one statement here. That lady said something about visit during the winter months, and every single review I found came from June or July.
Ew. That's like the worst time to go to the desert.
Terrible. That would be terrible. I'd rather go in like January.
Like, we love going in the mountains. We love going rock hunting. I
like it a little less when it's 110
going exploring and all that. But let me just say that it is so much nicer from September on.
Desert heat it hits different.
Oh man, it does.
Like, look, we don't have the humidity that we once had living in Florida, but desert heat is not play.
It's so dry and hot. And it's so different from what we're used to. You
can like feel your skin start to break apart. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
You people born and raised out here. God bless you.
So Ann S. on TripAdvisor.com in July 2019 wrote, "This beautifully renovated gold camp is a must-see for anyone interested in gold mining history or in haunted locations. It's actually the camp. Actually the remains of a city of 5,000, not the mine itself, which is still in operation and does allow visitors. My boyfriend and I first visited a few years ago, and in the stairwell of the SA office going up to the second floor, he got this creepy feeling, but shrugged it off. However, for the rest of the afternoon, he was not himself. He was very paranoid about the people at the table near us when we had lunch in Wickenburg, obsessing that they were weird and something was wrong with them. Luckily, he went to the car to smoke a cigarette, and when he came back, he was pretty much his old self. This last March, we returned to see how they were coming with the renovations, and one of the workers told us that the SA office was haunted by the ghost of a man who was killed in the building by a bullet to the head. The owners are planning to develop the haunted attraction aspect of this location."
Yeah, so they actually had an experience.
Well, obviously he did. Like, if he was like not being himself after, it probably freaked him out a lot.
He just sounds like somebody who doesn't like people.
I mean, yeah.
Sounds like me.
I know.
Sounds like me.
I know.
So I don't put too much stock into that part, but I just don't think he likes people, and she doesn't want to admit it. No, Mom and Dad, I swear he's a nice guy.
I swear.
Anyways, there's one more. And of course, it's in June.
What are these people doing? Like,
they're living wrong.
Right.
Got to go in the winter.
Duh. So Linda T on TripAdvisor.com in June of 2015 wrote, "I'll admit to being fascinated by ghosts, and I suspect the special effects techs on TV shows. I have had..."
Hold on. I love that she immediately is like, I'm fascinated by ghosts, but she is like very self-aware of the fact that TV is probably fake. I love that.
I mean, it's true.
There's a lot of people who aren't that perceptive when it comes to television. So I love that.
They're very much just like, "Oh my gosh, did you see that?"
It's very refreshing to think that there's other people out there watching and going, there's probably a producer around the corner.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it.
"I have had some experiences that I can't explain, and I don't really want to. But as I toured this ghost town on the way to the long-closed Vulture gold mine, I was drawn to the old building where gold and silver had been held before shipping. I couldn't stop staring. The guide noticed and suggested that I stay there and catch up later. After a bit of daydreaming, I began to hear iron furniture scraping across an upper floor and faint music from the same place. The guide had said that the building was sealed to everyone, including employees. I didn't speak to the guide, but as I left, he nodded to me and said, yes. Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
That was okay.
So people do claim to hear and see things. I saw some bad reviews, but they weren't bad reviews in a way that it was like they tried to lie to me about it being haunted. It was more like it was hot and miserable, which of course it is. It's the
Right.
desert.
Yeah.
You know, you're the people that are picking when to go.
Yeah. June and July.
Yeah.
Literally
So,
the worst 2
I mean,
months
that's
to
your
go.
own fault. But,
Right.
but people looking for paranormal general, once I saw Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures attached to this, my brain will automatically go to it's fake every time because I
Yeah.
can't help it.
Right. But that's why we also go online and we find like real people who have been there and
have
share
to.
their experience.
We have to, because
Yeah.
that was the only way I could start getting myself past the idea of it automatically being fake because certain people have been there.
Right.
You know, it was a way to kind of counteract the influence that it would have. And
Yeah.
it does that. But now that we have heard everything about this place, I do have a question for you.
Is it real?
And for those of you watching who might be new to the show, that is actually me saying that. I just want to point that out.
It is. And the scream in the beginning on our
That's you.
intro, that's me and our oldest son mixed together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what do you think of the Vulture City, Ghost Town, and Gold Mine? Do you think that they are really haunted?
I think this one's like 50-50 for me. I don't think it's super haunted. I don't think that specific dolls have specific people attached to them and there's specific people who show up. I think that a lot of tragedy happened there and that
Yeah.
there's a lot that happened on that land. So there is a possibility that it is haunted, but I don't think that this is a must see go to for paranormal.
Wow.
I know, right? What about you, babe?
Thanks for asking. Then you get around to it eventually. I don't.
Okay.
I'm going to say this will be the very first time I've ever said I don't, but because I do. I think the only reason, but I'm going to explain.
Okay.
I think the only reason people think they see and hear and feel things here is because they're kind of told to. I'm not saying, I think they're being influenced into it. Gotcha. Because this was a rowdy town and it's literally called a ghost town. It's like if you take the innocence of a child, if you will, because we told our son that we were going to take him to a ghost town and he immediately thought, oh, we're going to go see ghosts.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a lot of influence going into that, but I think they've tried so hard to put these haunted items there that to me that says we're trying to make this place haunted.
Right.
We're trying.
Yeah. Like, hello,
so
it's here.
I don't think maybe some of the items they're bringing in are haunted, but I don't think the town is.
Like the whole town. Okay.
I think it's a really historical place.
Oh, for sure.
That has a significant importance to how towns like Phoenix and the surrounding areas were developed.
Right.
I think that's pretty amazing. But I think as far as paranormal goes, I don't think there's much to speak of.
Okay. That's fair.
Sorry, Arizona.
So
no.
This one does not get the big old seal of approval.
People watching have no idea what that is.
Oh, I forgot.
Go back and listen to the podcast.
That's right.
There's a lot of episodes where you'll get to hear that. I might add that back in now. Actually, I might add it into the videos too, but it's not going to be this week. We said no. But that
was a good one. I liked that one.
It was different.
It was different.
It was different because for the first time we did a town that is actually, or we did a town.
Yeah.
Which we've never done a town. And two, nobody lives there anymore.
I know. I think it's super cool.
It's a ghost town. Right?
We have been looking for a good ghost town and we found our first good one. We just didn't go. We just read about it.
It was a good story.
Yeah. Super good.
But we said no, so it wasn't a good one. I want the haunted stuff.
I know.
And again, we could be wrong. It could be haunted for all we know.
This
We
is
don't
true.
know.
This is true.
But where can they find us?
They can find us on Instagram at @forthebooze_podcast and on Facebook at For the Booze.
You can find us right here on YouTube at For the Booze, on Twitter or X or whatever you children call it now. You can find us basically anywhere. We're on Threads and TikTok and everything else, but we really need 5 stars, rate and review on iTunes especially if you're more of a podcast listener.
That's right.
But even if you're just a watcher of the videos, we take them from you too. We'll read them on the show.
Yeah, 100%.
Don't forget, you can comment, like, subscribe. And we also have a Patreon if you would like to help in that way. It's under For the Booze, where we do another weekly podcast called Behind the Booze, where it's less of a family friendly, more of kind of like a hangout, where we find some absurd paranormal stories from the internet.
Some crazy, weird,
some of them are really good though.
Ghost stories. Sometimes we don't find the best ones, but it's just it's this little hangout session. It's a lot of fun and we enjoy doing it.
Yeah. But also, if you have a listener suggestion or a place that you would like to hear us talk about and do some research on, or you just want to say, hey, what's up?
That's right.
Yeah, hit us up for the 12@gmail.com.
Sorry, I totally cut you off.
Gotta let me finish.
Sorry. But if anybody has like a ghost story or a paranormal anything, or even if it's not paranormal, just like a weird story that's happened to you, we always love to hear those stories and we will absolutely read them on the show.
We used to, but people stopped sending them in. So
that's right.
I guess this is where we're gonna
hold on.
Whoa.
Wait a second.
Yeah, I'm reaching for the button. You can't stop me mid-reach.
I know, I'm sorry.
What's
so
up?
For all the podcast listeners, if you would like to see what I am about to show, you can go over to our YouTube. But I got Stephen and I these shirts during Halloween, and I just wanted to show it off a little bit. It's a ghost, and it says, "I'm here for the booze." Oh, I had to wear it today.
Thank you for sharing.
Of course.
All right, take us out of here. We still got to go do some other videos.
I know. Well, thank you, everybody, so much for listening, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Stay away from the glory hole. Don't fall in. Welcome back, guys.
Hello.
We are doing another reaction video.
That we are.
We've done stuff that everybody else wanted, so now we're gonna do one that we want.
I know.
And we used to be huge fans of watching like the top 10 or top 5 paranormal, Slapped Ham, Nukes. What was the other guy's name? Project Dark Knight and all those guys.
And if nobody knows who that is, I feel like he doesn't get enough love.
Now, since time has gone by, we've become much more skeptical, but we do still enjoy watching them.
We do, but now we watch it like this.
That's pretty much what you're gonna get this time. So we do have one ready to go, and I say let's check out this cinematic marvel of let's just watch it.
Let's do it.
Let's just watch it.
How you doing? I'm Callan, and this is Slapped Ham. You're about to see some really unsettling content that's being shared on socials right now. So hit that subscribe button and get ready for more creepy content, just like this.
The YouTube channel Urbex Catranautica, based in Argentina, posted a spine-chilling video in February of 2023. The channel, run by friends Nay, Chris and Guile, is dedicated to urban exploration, documenting their adventures in abandoned places. In this particular video, the team ventures into La Plata Cemetery in Buenos Aires, a site with a rich history and stunning architecture.
Miren esto. Dios mío, lo que debe ser de noche esto.
As the team explores a decrepit mausoleum, the camera catches something unthinkable. Initially hard to see, if you zoom in and slow the footage down, you can spot a pale hand sliding away from one of the graves.
Unless they have uncovered this themselves,
Uh-huh.
I will not put too much stock in the fact that there's somebody down there. Who's to say that they didn't have a friend already down there
Yeah.
and do that? There needs to be, I don't know if it's more or less, or there just needs to be something else in this video. There's too much to question on this one, in my
Absolutely.
opinion.
Yes,
This doesn't seem, it seems fake.
it does. And you know, if they're not willing to, I don't know, put your camera on like an extended pole or something and like go over top of it to like show that there's nothing in there.
Or go down in there.
Right. Something. I mean, that thing looked like it was like layers on layers on layers.
I'm pretty sure that's
which
how it
is
was.
Scary.
I'm pretty sure that's how St. Louis Cemetery #1 is.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know. Mausoleums and stuff like that are really, really cool. However, I don't think there's a pale hand in there.
It seems fake.
It does.
It seems fake.
Once some keen-eyed followers noticed the hand, the video quickly went viral, racking up thousands of views. Commenters speculated on what had been captured, with many wondering if this could be a genuine ghost sighting. So could this be proof of the paranormal in La Plata Cemetery? The debate continues.
I'm calling BS on that one.
The hand looks too realistic.
Well, I mean,
It looks too realistic.
yeah, but to be fair, in that level, like, we don't know what a ghost hand would look like.
I mean, that's true.
But there's just not enough there to say that somebody wasn't already down there.
Right.
There's nothing that says that their friend didn't climb in down in the hole and they were like, hey, when we come around the corner, put your hand up and then slide it off.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, clout chasing is a real thing today.
100%.
Unfortunately. But hopefully the rest of the video will give us something better than this.
Yeah. Let's hope.
TikTok user Lean Rito has been suspecting for some time now that a supernatural force has taken hold of his home. Over the past several months, he's documented numerous strange occurrences, eventually setting up a series of security cameras around his house to capture the bizarre happenings. In some early footage, viewers can witness some eerie events unfolding. He enters the bathroom. Then more creepy activity is captured. Watching that again, there appears to be a very tall shadow in the courtyard. But when he looks around, there's no one there. These unsettling occurrences have left Lean Rito and his followers questioning what might be causing such strange disturbances. In a particularly chilling follow-up clip, Lean Rito arrives home very early in the morning, around 5 a.m, to find a light on inside of his house, despite being certain he had turned it off.
This is another one where there's, how come the camera can never seem to be in the right spot?
Right.
You know, the door is opening, but how do we know there's not somebody behind it?
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen too many instances of people showing you how to edit clips with, you know, because there'll be little jumps that we don't really notice.
Right.
But they're there.
Yes.
Like, and I guarantee,
Super like any like a turn of the camera can be a cut.
I guarantee there's where the person was in the shower. I guarantee there's a cut.
There's
there.
a cut.
I
100%.
guarantee.
Now a door opening or like slightly moving, like I'm not going to say it's paranormal because if it's an old house, like they creak, they move, and like if your, hinges are older or
Yeah.
aren't super tight or anything
And
like
this is
that,
all,
like
and
that
this
could
is in another
cause anything.
country.
Right. The shadow was kind of weird to me because he turned around
I disagree.
and there was a wall behind him.
I think the shadow is easier to fake than the rest of them because all you got to do is set up a light in the right spot and have your buddy walk.
That's true.
And then how do you judge the height of a shadow? Because if it's a shadow, we all know like you could be 5 foot and cast a 12-foot shadow depending on how the light is.
Or the opposite, you could cast a 2-foot shadow.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
none of this is solid enough for me because I need more angles. I need more. That's the thing about people capturing like paranormal is your angle's never right or your camera's never in the right spot. And it's just so convenient. So it makes it hard for people like me anyways to believe because I'm not going to take your word for it.
Absolutely. And we find a lot too. Like we watch a lot of YouTube. We've kind of
Yeah, we do.
We've kind of scaled back on the paranormal side of YouTube. We talk about it a lot on our podcast that a lot of it should be labeled for entertainment purposes only.
Absolutely.
Like, we're faking it. We're making, making our own thing.
Not even about faking. It's more like, this is like a little movie.
Right. And if you're doing that, good for you. Like, carry on.
But these
entertainment.
These people are trying to sell it as real.
Absolutely.
And it's not.
Like, paranormal does not work the way like you walk into a house and something happens every 5 minutes.
No,
they're absolutely not the way that it happens.
Spirits aren't going to act on command.
Right. They're
at least
actors.
Not all of them.
They're not actors.
They're not dogs either.
Yeah. It's crazy.
They're not here for our enjoyment, but I guess we'll just see what else they do.
Okay.
La puerta abierta.
As he cautiously approaches, he begins to hear some strange noises.
Estoy escuchando ruidos aparte.
To his horror, he spots a tall, shadowy figure standing in the dark.
I couldn't help myself. Sorry.
Suddenly, the door slams shut. When he eventually manages to re-enter, he searches the entire house, but finds no sign of anyone.
So this is what I was talking about earlier. He opens the door. We all can clearly see there's somebody standing there.
Yeah.
And he checks all over the house. But what he doesn't do is go to the room directly next to, I guess if I'm on camera, it's this way, but he doesn't go to the room directly where it could be. He goes to the other side of the house.
He goes the opposite way. Yeah.
Why?
Hello?
Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you go to the closest area it could hide? This is why I always call these videos out as being fake. It's this reason right here.
Absolutely. They always seem to just not go where they're needed to go to capture something.
Well, if you want to prove it, prove it. Stop going to the area it wasn't clearly going. Go to the closest.
Yeah, that.
We're gonna watch this video.
The unexplained phenomena have sparked widespread speculation among his followers. Could this house really be haunted? Lynn Rito's ongoing documentation continues to captivate viewers, leaving them eager for more answers about the mysterious forces at play in his home.
You know what it looked like?
What?
Looked like
Have you ever had a dream that you do?
Michael Myers cut out.
It did.
Dude,
just blurred.
I could see the white mask
Just
in
like
the jumpsuit.
blurred. Yeah. And that shower curtain.
They're not even clever.
The shower curtain is obviously this.
Yeah, and then you make a cut as you're swatting at it,
going to it and pulling, and
then boom,
there's nobody
your
there.
homeboy Trevor's out of there. I don't know.
I don't think his name's Trevor, but okay.
Trevor. I don't speak Spanish. Juan.
That's better.
I don't know. I do my best.
I know.
A bizarre incident occurred on the evening of Monday, June 4th, 2024, when 40-year-old Joseph Leedy was arrested after crashing his car into the Martin County Jail.
Driving like that, when were you there?
Excuse me.
Back to the video.
Wearing only a woman's blouse, Leedy caused chaos and significant damage at the Florida facility. According to the Martin County Sheriff's Office, Leedy drove a Toyota into the jail's door. After exiting the vehicle, he poured motor oil on the floor, threatening to set it on fire, and made violent statements about wanting to kill officers.
Florida doing Florida things.
He threw rubber snakes on the ground and engaged in a physical altercation with police and fire rescue personnel. Despite the chaos, Leedy failed to breach the jail's steel doors, and fortunately, the lobby was empty at the time of the crash. Leedy, identified as homeless by deputies, was subdued and taken to a nearby hospital where he refused to.
You know what I just realized? They're saying Leedy. I thought they were saying a lady.
No, I'm saying Leedy, but Florida doing Florida things. Like you said, why would you drive your car into a jail of all places?
Meth.
Like, what are we doing?
It's got to be meth.
I can't.
Maybe it's meth.
Yeah, probably.
Cooperate with the medical staff. He was subsequently returned to the jail, booked, and charged with 4 counts of aggravated assault on a police officer and criminal mischief exceeding $1,000 in damage. The incident report revealed Leedy's claims that the devil had instructed him to kill, along with other incoherent and disturbing statements. He also expressed his intense dislike of former President Donald Trump during the arrest. The Martin County Sheriff's Office confirmed that charges have been filed against Leedy, though a court date has not yet been scheduled. The investigation continues into this unusual and unsettling event.
For anybody wondering, or if you're from Florida, please don't be offended, because we are from Florida.
We are from Florida.
We only speak what we know.
Yeah, it's real.
Did you see his picture, though?
Uh-huh.
Like the picture at the end, it was like before and after.
Yeah.
Dude, he...
Definitely under the influence of some substances.
Definitely some stubstances.
Yeah, that's
what you said.
What I said.
Stubstances.
I know. But for quite a while, I might say. You know, the devil told him to do it.
I mean, if it was 1985 and you had Ed and Lorraine on your side, it'd probably work. I would say he'll probably be okay because of the low amount, as long as he doesn't go in and whisper anything under his breath to the judge. What?
Nothing.
I just think he'd be all right if that was the case. That's all.
Okay.
One evening in March, some years ago, Rick's home security system detected movement at the side of his property. It took several snaps and sent the report to Rick's phone. And there, a mysterious transparent figure can be seen in the driveway. Everything else in the image is quite clear, yet the human-like shape isn't. It's this detail that sparked discussions about paranormal activity in the comments section. As always, though, I'll throw this one out to you, the viewers, for final judgment.
So I don't want to keep stopping the video so often, but this is something that I actually had just recently dealt with myself.
Yep.
Okay.
I was going to say, we just had this happen.
If you have a Ring Cam, I forget what it's called. I think it's like a low compression rate or something, but your Ring Cam will mess up and do this. I just had it. I watched 2 guys not actually walk away, but walk away and then materialize down the path in front of our house.
Yeah, like walking, disappear.
No,
you
didn't even see them. You could see kind of like a blur-ish thing, and then everything was gone. And then all of a sudden, 2 people just appeared off on the side. And I'm not saying that this isn't paranormal because it could be. We don't know. We're not paranormal experts, but I will say that this is something that we ourselves have actually dealt with. And if it's a ring cam, that is, it's.
They're not the best quality videos either. So I think if
I mean, they
someone
can
is,
be. It just depends.
I think
but
if someone's like moving fast, they're gonna show up a little differently than they would if they were walking at a normal speed.
But this is something that happens.
Yes.
It is. So this could very well just be normal. This might not even be paranormal in any way.
In March 2023, Franco TV Adventures, a YouTube channel renowned for documenting eerie paranormal encounters, captured something rather unsettling at a church and mausoleum complex.
And I swear I could hear someone singing.
Filming in the early evening, Franco is alone when he begins to hear a chilling sound.
Hear it? Hello?
It seems to resemble a young child humming, gradually growing louder and louder.
Three blind mice. Speaking of Florida,
Despite a
guys.
thorough search, Franco found no evidence of anyone or anything that could be responsible for the haunting melody. Given the setting, many commenters speculated that the sound could be the moans of a child's spirit, perhaps tethered to the earth where they were laid to rest.
Could be wind.
So what do you think? What could be making this eerie sound?
Could be wind.
An extraordinary image taken by AFL photographer Paul Kane has left footy fans scratching their heads. The Perth-based photographer captured a post-siren embrace between North Melbourne players Aidan Corr and Charlie Comben following their thrilling win. However, the photo contains a baffling detail.
Did he just say AFL and then called it the American?
I don't know.
Did I just miss that?
I don't know.
Did I mess that up? Because I'm thinking, I guess it could be Australian Football League.
Maybe. Yeah.
I'm so dumb. Why do you let me stop the videos and talk?
Because it's your job.
This isn't my proudest moment.
An inexplicable fifth hand. Each of Corr and Comben's arms are clearly accounted for, making the appearance of the additional hand all the more puzzling. When the Kangaroos shared the image on social media to commemorate their win, fans quickly noticed the anomaly and expressed their confusion. The bizarre optical illusion has since sparked numerous theories and discussions among the AFL community. So is it just a trick of perspective or something a little more mysterious? The debate continues as fans ponder the origins of the extra hand in this genuinely creepy photo.
I want to point out a couple things I'm noticing here.
Okay.
The hand, obviously.
Well, yeah.
His two arms look like they're from two different people. There must, I think there's another person.
There's a third person. I was going to say, I would love to see like the other side of that.
But
Mhm.
these are two left hands though. But his two arms around his neck look like two different arms, like from two different people.
I don't know.
This is a weird picture.
It's very strange.
I think this is like the little kid going up the stairs.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is something like that.
Or they're at like a perfect angle that they
there's a
don't see
perspective
that other
thing.
person.
Yeah,
That's
think
why I'm saying I'd love to see like around the other side.
there's something
picture.
there's something we're missing here.
Yeah,
Very interesting though. It's pretty cool.
that is the same thing as like the kid going up the stairs.
Yeah.
Good call.
An American couple, Haley and Trevor Gilmartin from Michigan, were left stunned after they discovered a hidden tunnel beneath their home.
We did an episode on Bobby Mackey's Don't Uncover That Thing, Concrete It.
Yeah.
This is the Bobby Mackey's phenomena.
Do not leave it open.
Oh,
Whatever you do. But how weird would that be?
to
Like
find.
you find like a cavern full of water under your house.
Didn't we just do our Patreon podcast and talk about this very thing
Yeah, we did.
like 15 minutes ago?
We did. We did. I don't know what I would do if we like discovered.
I would
something
concrete
like
it
that.
because it's clearly the portal to hell. I don't need demons.
No thanks.
I already have 2 kids.
Little demons.
Well, that live with me, but you know what I mean. That run around this house.
Yeah.
Fill the thing in, for the love of God. Fill
Don't
it in.
leave it open.
Fill it in. It is a portal to hell.
This tunnel is believed to have been used to smuggle alcohol across the US-Canada border during the Prohibition era. While removing an outdated jacuzzi from their Lake Huron residence, the Gilmartins stumbled upon a submerged chamber about 20 feet below ground. The Gilmartins, initially planning to renovate their 1970s style lounge, hadn't anticipated uncovering such a bizarre and historic feature. They shared their discovery over on TikTok, where it quickly went viral, amassing over 1 million likes. Despite the excitement, they can't yet drain the chamber as it still receives water from Lake Huron and its connected rivers. The discovery has fueled speculation and wild theories about the tunnel's original purpose. Local folklore suggests their house might have been involved in loading brine onto freighters during World War II, though this remains unconfirmed. A more thrilling theory, given the numerous Prohibition-era bottles found in the area, is that the tunnel was part of a smuggling route for alcohol from Canada. Historian Douglas Bancroft has confirmed that Lake Huron was indeed a significant hub for illegal exports during Prohibition, with 75% of illicit goods passing through the area. Adding to the mystery, neighbours have reported finding similar underground passages leading to secret rooms, heightening the intrigue of the Gilmartins' discovery.
So this isn't paranormal. This is just cool.
That is wild.
That's just cool.
What?
Right.
That is amazing.
So, I mean, it's not paranormal.
No.
It's just you uncovered a historical thing.
That is so crazy.
I love the fact that it was like,
So crazy.
oh, this old bootleg well.
Yeah.
And it could have been a well, too. We don't know.
That's true. But I mean, it definitely looked like its own individual full room.
Oh, yeah.
And I wonder if the picture of the bottles that they found were in that little nook, or
No,
was
well,
that just
I think
like
that was
shelving?
I think that was just a like an example picture.
Could you imagine if you found like a Prohibition era bottle of alcohol?
I don't
underneath your
drink, but I
house?
would try some.
That would be crazy. I mean, just finding that alone
It's
is
probably
insane.
worth a lot of money.
100%. What? Are you kidding me?
Not paranormal, but very cool.
Super cool.
I like that. That's pretty neat.
As for the future, Haley and Trevor are considering creative uses for their subterranean find. They plan to continue exploring the tunnel, and if feasible, they might transform it into a unique games room or even a bowling alley.
But this is the end of the video.
Yes.
And there's going to be a cut that happened in there somewhere, but I encourage you to go find this video. What was the name of it? I got to let you guys know. The most recent paranormal videos just for you on Slaptam. Regardless of how you feel, the dude's basically a legend when it comes to this kind of stuff.
He is. We've been watching him for a while.
And regardless of how anybody feels about him, we hope he gets another 20 years because
absolutely,
Callum's a very likable guy.
He is.
You know, he probably is my favorite of those YouTube channels. You know, that counts down.
He just makes it fun and funny.
You know, you have like your Nukes and guys like that who are very serious, and Nuke's probably the biggest.
Yeah.
But there's just something about Callum, like he seems like a goofball.
He does.
I like him.
Pew!
But there is a segment at the end of that video. It goes hard. You need to check it out. It goes hard.
So funny.
Where they're celebrating like their 10 years. So go support his channel. You know, even if you are a big skeptic, right? It's still, even if you're not there because you like them, it's always good to see what people are trying to pass off as paranormal these days.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Because we don't want to keep letting people be Cody and Satori's. I said it. I don't care. We want to stop that from happening.
We do.
We want to see people go out and really investigate. Support channels like, like Ouija Brothers and your debunkers, your Side-Eye Guy, Shape, Beardo Gets Scared. All those guys. There's a bunch of other ones that I can't think of off the top of my head, but they're great. Support that stuff because I just feel like there's been way too much of people trying to force fake stuff onto us and
absolutely
making us think it's real because it's not.
It's too much, and YouTube's getting pretty over it.
Yeah, it seems that way.
And we are as well.
Yeah, we are. We definitely are. But I guess we're going to go ahead and dip out of here till the next one.
Yeah.
So thanks for tuning in, guys. And we'll see you, I guess, on the next one, whenever that is going to be. So
like and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, yeah, like and subscribe. Yeah.